Hello viewers, welcome to UN College Digital Class. Today I am going to represent a new topic C++ programming using object-oriented approaches. First of all, we will discuss what is the meaning of object-oriented approaches. Let's start and I hope all of you will enjoy it. Just like C++ is also one programming language. As we have already discussed that it is based on OOPS feature. But before that we should know who is responsible or who have developed C. C++ is an extension to C language and it was developed by Brajan Stroustrup at Bell Lab in 1979. And as it is an extension to C, it is having lots of interesting features. Let's discuss it in depth. Already we know that C++ is an object-oriented programming language and our main concern is now to understand what is the meaning of object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming refer to a type of programming approach. Actually, if you will search Google, then you will get lots of definition, lot of explanation on OOP. But here I have mentioned a very basic definition of OOP so that all of you can understand it very easily. I have mentioned that OOP is having such a capability that it can combine both the data and coding as a single entity or as a data type. It means that I can give you a very simple example. Suppose you are writing a program in C and in C you are taking a variable int a. A is a numeric variable or integer variable. But if in OOP you want to write one data, you want to do some operation one numeric variable, then it is advisable that in OOP the programmer prefer to use class instead of using a single variable. Then what is the meaning of class, what is the meaning of object? We will discuss all those things when we will discuss the OOP feature. But in OOP the programmer will design a data type which can contain a numeric value and at the same time all the operation which will be performed on the numeric value. But in C programming you are taking an integer a and you are writing that printf, enter a number, scanf, %d, ampersand a, then you are doing some arithmetic operation on a as it is a numeric variable. But in C++, all those operations which will be implemented on the numeric variable, that will be reside inside the variable. That is the feature of OOP. Okay, when we will write program, you can very clearly understand all those things. But as a simple explanation, suppose anyone will ask you what is the major difference between C and C++, you will get lots of differences, but I am giving a very simple example so that all of you can understand what is the basic difference in between C and C++. Suppose you are having two drivers, okay, suppose the driver A and driver B, and you want to suppose travel from a particular point or from a particular city to another city. In case of driver A, you need to instruct that driver that drive slowly, drive in a very fast speed, means that you have to instruct the driver at each step. But in case of driver B, you only say that I want to go to this city, and that is the responsibility of the driver B. He will take you, he will give you a very enjoyable ride from your source to destination. Are you getting? I hope that all of you are getting the difference in between two types of driver. In case of fast driver, you need to give instruction at each step, but in case of second driver, you don't need to give instructions, you just say what you want. And this is the difference between C and C++. In case of C, if you are writing a program, you need to instruct everything. But in OOP, if you are writing a program by using OOP concept, then you just you just instruct that what you want, and OOP is having lots of feature. OOP will provide you. This is the basic difference, and OOP is having that much of functionality, that much of flexibility, that much of user friendly OOP, so that it can provide you according to your requirement or user requirement. Now we will proceed to the next slide. Now we will discuss OOP feature one by one. First one is reusability. Reusability is one very interesting feature. If you are purchasing a product and you are using it again and again in number of ways, then that is reusability. And in case of OOP, if you are writing a program, then OOP is giving you that much of flexibility to use the program coding again and again in different ways. That is reusability. Then the next one is class. It is one of the core concept of object oriented programming. Class means a group of entities. If we will explain it in a very simple way, according to OOP, everything in this world belongs to a class. Also, I belongs to a class. Then, for example, I may belong to a class of a trainer, a class of a teacher, a class of employee. Suppose you are listening this video, then you belong to the class of a student. It means that everything in the world, every entity of this world belongs to a class. Then the next concept, that is object. It is also very interesting one. We belong to a class, but when we are taking a single entity of a class, then that is represented as an object. For example, suppose X is an employee. Here employee represent class and X represent object. Very simple one. Then next one is encapsulation. It is more powerful feature of OOP. Encapsulation means OOP actually combine both data and coding and represent it as a single entity, and encapsulation is responsible for doing this. Actually, in OOP, when you are writing a program, you are taking data types, that is class, and you are taking the variable of the class, that is object, and the object contains everything, all the coding, all the data, everything, and that is implemented only through encapsulation. Then next one is polymorphism. Polymorphism means suppose you are writing a program and the program can act in a different way. It is having multiple interfaces. Then that is polymorphism. Very simple one. Then abstraction. Just assume that suppose you are driving the bike, okay? You are driving the bike from a city to another city. Are you thinking during driving that how the engine is working? No. This is abstraction. It means that abstraction is a feature which is hiding all the complexity of the program from the user. When we are, suppose you are doing some sort of transaction in ATM, then are you thinking that how the internal architecture of ATM is working? No, no. It means that that is abstraction. Abstraction just hide all the complexities. Then inheritance. To understand inheritance, I am giving a very simple example. Suppose you may have parent, then grandparent. It is just like inheritance. It means that you will inherit the properties of your parent. Parent will inherit the properties of the grandparent. Basically, what happens in the society, I am talking about that. It may not happen, that is another issue. But inheritance means if one program is, or if one class is taking the properties of another class, then that is inheritance. We will implement it where after some classes. Then message passing. Suppose you are writing a program for employee management system, and in a company, there are number of departments. Let's assume that there are two departments. One is sales. I am giving just example of two departments. One is sales and one is account section or marketing. You may take it marketing. Then they may need to communicate with each other. The sales department need to communicate with marketing department, and it means that one class need to communicate with another class, and it is implemented by using message passing. Very simple one. And all these features are make a OOP program more powerful, more user friendly, more flexible, everything. Now we will proceed. Now we will discuss benefits of C++ over C. In the next class we will discuss in details, but today I am just giving a brief discussion or brief points on the benefits of C++ over C. C++ is highly secured, obviously, because it is having encapsulation feature, it is having data abstraction feature. For these two features, it is more secured in comparison to C. In C, the data is different and instruction are different, but in C++, data and instruction are combined and it is used as a single entity. For that reason, it is more secured. Then next one is user friendly. Obviously it is having more features, and it is when the programmer is writing a program by using C++, then it is very easy for the programmer to write a very complicated program in C++ in comparison to C. C is no doubt powerful, but it is having some sort of limitation. We will discuss it later. Exception handling. It is one of the very interesting character of OOP. Suppose you are a very good driver and you are driving, okay, and you are not violating any traffic rules, but unfortunately someone is coming in front of you. As you are a very good driver, you can able to handle the situation. And in OOP is having that type of feature. Suppose during program execution the user is doing some sort of mistake, and that is handled, okay, that can be handled by OOP, and that concept is called as exception handling. Then easy updation. What is the meaning of easy updation? Easy updation is that suppose you have written a program in OOP, and after some time, that may be some months or that may be some days, you need some modification, then it will be very easy for the modification purpose. Because in case of OOP, everything you will write in term of classes. So if you need to modify something, then you just open a class and you just modify it. You don't need to disturb other classes. So these are the benefit of C++ over C. Next is that before ending the class, I would like to request you that if you think that it is beneficial for you, then please like it, subscribe it, and comment. Give your feedback so that we can give you better service. And I hope you have learned some basic idea about OOP feature. And in the next class, we will discuss more and more. And thank you so much for hearing and watching.